Hello and thank you for joining me for another video beer review. Right, today we are heading out to Connecticut in the northeast of the USA, and this is from the Relic Brewing Company, and this is the Plague Doctor double IPA. It's coming in at 8% ABV, cracking looking artwork on this can. A big thank you to my good friend Stuart Pickard over at Ginger Ale Trail. He brought this over for me when he was in America. He said, "Oh, what do you think about that?" I said, "I heard some good stuff about Relic," so he brought me over a can. Thanks a lot, mate. The only kind of slight downside on this one is it was canned on the August the 30th of 2018, and I'm reviewing this on the 10th of March of 2019, so it's like almost 8 months old, bar 10 days. So fingers crossed on this one. If I think this beer is not, if it's past its best, I won't give a score, but I'm still going to review it anyway because I'm not going to ever probably try one of these beers again. So yeah, these guys are out of Plainville, or it's actually said on the can, Branford on the can, and then Plainville on Untapped. So this is coming in a, what size can is this? It doesn't really say, does it? I would imagine, oh, it just says 1 pint, so whatever 1 pint is, 16 point something fluid ounces. So let's crack it open then. I've had this beer about 3 weeks since coming back from Birmingham, so yeah, really looking forward to trying this. But it's in a can, so I'm hoping that it's going to hold a little bit. Looks great. Looks great in the glass. So it's not even a half a finger of pure white head, just covering the top of the beer. It's looking really quite a light orange actually. Some double IPAs, depending on the malt build, etc., they can look a little bit darker than this, but this is really kind of a nice, I'd say medium haze for days, if you know what I'm saying. There's a lot kind of more denser looking beers. I don't know what's in the bottom of the can, we'll find out after. But yeah, looking into the light now, yeah, there's lots of kind of very fine particulates in the beer making up the haze. But yeah, let's get an aroma on this. Just trying to find out. So this is a double IPA with Idaho 7 and Apollo hops, dank. That's what it says pretty much. And candied honeydew melon. Anything else there? And stone fruit flavours. So definitely picking up that kind of honeydew, slight sweetness, melon. But there's also that there is a maltiness to the beer. Not in a bad way, like an old kind of maltiness, more of a backbone maltiness. Maybe a little bit of kind of a crackery, biscuity malt, slightly sweet. Slight citrusiness. Let's give it a try and see what we get on the taste on this one. So, cheers. Definitely the honeydew is coming through with that kind of slight biscuitiness of the malts. Very kind of perfumey, perfumey floweryness, if that makes sense, on the palate. Petals. Yeah, flower petals, maybe like, not rose, but that's got that kind of, maybe a pink rose. A little bit of alcohol coming through. Definitely a bready, biscuity, kind of crackery malt, very floral, dank. The ABV is definitely starting to, I say starting, it's showing on this aged can. It's an old can, so I'm still debating whether to actually rate this beer or not, as it's 7 months old. Probably not going to be honest, and be fair to the beer and the brewery, of course. But I really do appreciate Stuart giving me this beer. It's a very tasty beer, all the same. If you want to know what I think of it, then check out my Untapped. I'll put the rating on there, but I'm not going to do it in the review. It's just not fair. It's got almost like a I'll say to me anyway, it tastes like a slight, it's got a slight funkiness to it, a slight kind of Belgian-y kind of yeast funk to it. I'm really enjoying it. There's a slight almost caramel sweetness as well. Slightly boozy though, I'll give it that, it's slightly boozy. A lovely tang to it. I'm really enjoying it, I'm really digging it. Whether it's changed or not from it being fresh to now, I don't know. But what I've got here is quite a delicious double IPA, but with more kind of malt esters that are coming through on this one. A little bit of carbonation, not too bad, you know, on the general feel of that. I know it's a bit odd saying it, but it's a really tasty beer. Let's get the rest of this beer into the glass then and see if it changes up any. I'm not sure if I'm going to pour all of it in, but as you can see, I've actually got more of a head on the last part of the pour than the original pour. So there's no chunky monkeys or anything like that, particulates floating around in it. It's just hazy. More of a kind of a slightly more tightly packed bubbled head. It's my first beer for quite a while. It's got more, it's almost like it's got almost like a slight champagne Belgian funk with the yeast. Lovely beer. Not going to rate it, but I will go into the Untapped scores. So this beer has been around since the 13th of February of 2017. They've obviously done various batches of this beer. It's obviously my first beer from the Relic Brewing Company. I know I do follow, I've heard of this brewery via Instagram. I've been quite impressed by what they post and stuff like that, so it's really cool to actually get to review a beer from them, although I'm not scoring it, of course. So it's had 3,642 check-ins, 30 in the last 30 days, 2,852 ratings, coming in at 3.81. It's about fair. Which is pretty in line with what I'm actually thinking of what this beer is, even though it's 7 months old. So therefore I am actually going to give this a rating. After all that, I'm giving this a 7.5 out of 10, 3.75. That's what I was thinking before I looked at that, and that's what it is for me. Would I have given this a bigger score? I could have given it more, but it's in about the ballpark of what I was actually thinking for this beer at this age and stuff like that. It's a really nice beer. I'd imagine this beer fresh would probably get a slightly higher rating, maybe a 4 or an 8 out of 10, maybe a bit higher. But at the moment, for a 7 month old beer in the can, And I'm giving this a 7.5 out of 10. I think it speaks volumes about the beer and the brewery. So that is what it is. So, and it says double Idaho 7 and Apollo hops, dank, nectarines, aroma, candied, honeydew, melon, and stone fruit flavours. Not really picking up much of, definitely picking up that sweetness of the honeydew melon and general melon. There is that candied kind of sugar, giving it a little bit of more of a funk, a little bit more of that kind of sugary glaze you get sometimes on a, you know, on apples, you know, around Halloween sort of time. It's giving me that kind of vibe. Cracking beer. So, thanks a lot, Stuart, for getting me this beer, mate. I really do appreciate it. It's actually held up quite well, I think, for being 7 months old, and I'm glad I've reviewed it and give it a score. So this is from the Relic Brewing Company, the Plague Doctor Double IPA, 8% ABV. I don't know what the IBUs are in this one, but yeah, interesting beer indeed. Really enjoyed it. So, if you've in the States, we can't get this over in the UK. This is one of them beers. It just doesn't apply to the UK generally. But yeah, good friends like Stuart brings little treats over this now and again because he likes his American trips. Does our Stuart, so it's really cool. There's going to be some hype breweries coming up on the channel very soon, which I'm really looking forward to. So yeah, check out for those. I'm going to sort of sprinkle them here and there, but yeah, in the next few months. So check them out. Thanks again, Stuart. Check out Relic Brewing Company. I'll put all the links down below if you're in the States watching this or whatever, and as well as my American craft beer playlist, all down below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next review. Cheers.